Welcome to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm host Lanasha Puwadi. Later in the show, I'll chat with Nonbinary recording artist, performer, songwriter, and music educator Iiwaa. Project Dreamcatcher is a program that provides leadership and business management to Native American women entrepreneurs. On the phone to tell us more is Dinora Gonzalez, Senior Project Manager at Thunderbird School of Global Management at Arizona State University, and 3 recent graduates of the Project Dreamcatcher Program. Hello, Dinora and ladies. Welcome to our show. To start off, Dinora, can you tell us about the ASU Thunderbird School of Global Management and about the Project Dreamcatcher program?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having us today. I want to say that Thunderbird School of Global Management became part of Arizona State University in 2014. This was when we joined forces and they were combined with ASU Development, global leaders. That's basically what we do. And in 2018, Thunderbird moved from the traditional and the historical place that we had in Glendale to ASU Downtown Phoenix. And now we are hosting a lot of the project management here in Downtown Phoenix, and this is the place where we host Project Dreamcatcher.
Wow, that is so awesome. And I know I was also a recent graduate, so it is an amazing program. Dinora, can you tell us more about what areas you guys highlight in Project Dreamcatcher?
Absolutely. Project Dreamcatcher is the vision of Freeport-McMoran. We have a partnership with them, and one of the main things that they wanted to do is to bring resources for Native American communities. So this is the program that we created for Native American women entrepreneurs. And during a whole week, we provide classes on campus for the ladies that apply to the program. And we build a capacity on their businesses. Also, we give them different networking activities, coaching, advising sessions. And one of the most important things that we give for the cohorts is the building of the skills and the confidence to start or grow their own business.
And do you have to have your own business before applying to this program?
That is a great question. Not necessarily. Dreamcatcher is it can be both things, an accelerator and also an incubator, meaning if you already have a business, we can help you to develop the business to the next level. But if you don't have a business, as long as you have a clear vision of what is an idea of a business that you want to do, that is also another thing that we encourage. You apply if you've always been thinking about a business that you wanted to start, but you don't necessarily know how. So we provide you with the tools and the knowledge that you need in order to kick off the idea.
Wow, yeah, it is definitely a great resource for anybody who either has a business or even just a thought of starting their own business or just that has an idea. And I know we have 3 of the recent graduates in the program that just graduated in June. I'm going to talk to you ladies about your experience. If you guys can kind of share your experience that you guys had in Project Dreamcatcher, but we can start off by first, if you can introduce yourselves and then tell us about your experience with Project Dreamcatcher. We can start off with Gracie.
Hi, my name is Gracie Garcia. I'm a recent graduate. My experience with Project Dreamcatcher was amazing. I learned so much information that got me now constantly thinking of the things that I need to get done. As I got home, started making a list of the first steps that I need to get done, especially with my LLC, and my business plan is basically my goal right now to get done for my business. Also, I just really didn't I had an idea, but now I have a clearer um, information on what it is I need to do thanks to the cohort that we just went to. It was amazing. I've learned so much. I met a lot of great people.
That is very true. And Gracie, what do you think was more helpful for you?
Oh my goodness! I honestly I can't even pick. There was so much. All of it is very useful. Maybe. Oh, I think a lot of it that I didn't think about. What the most part, I guess, was probably the bookkeeping. Is what I was probably lacking on, and I started looking more into that. Especially learning a lot of it there, and then looking into what I need to do for myself and my business.
Oh, yes, definitely. And why would you recommend this program to other women who are interested?
As soon as I got home, I told my entire family about my experience and told them, this is something not even if you don't have a business, it's just information, even in your line of work or what you do. I have a lot of people in my family that work in high positions, just to have an idea of what it is that is happening on the background of where they work at and what they do. But not only all the information, but it felt like we ended up being like a sisterhood there, and the support that people got along that also boosted the energy or a goal to continue their business. That it was just a lot of good areas that applied to this. But the information that they have that was presented to us was a lot of with the accounting, the bookkeeping, of course just everything. I can't even fit just one.
No, you are definitely right. And Dinora is right. It does give you the confidence of either continuing on your business or just starting your business plan. So that is great. Thank you for sharing that, Gracie. And moving on to Shalita, can you briefly introduce yourself and tell us about your experience with Project Dreamcatcher?
So hello everyone, my name is Shalita. I run a business called Fostering Young Apache Gatherers, and that just provides service for the community. I didn't know what to expect going into it, so when I went into it, I was totally shocked with what was presented on day one. Networking with people and meeting other like-minded women who are doing similar things or just way ahead and have their LLC. And so, my experience was just a lot of networking, and each day was different. I felt like being able to experience a business perspective from Native communities and having those Native speakers was one of the things that I really took away from it, was hearing from other Natives from other tribes and how they establish their business, or how their tribe supports their business. And so it was just a whole lot of just amazing things. Each and every day was different, and definitely love the food. So yeah.
Yes, and what do you think was more helpful for you?
Well, I guess it depends on the level that you came into the program. So for like some people, their thing was like logos. I need to develop a logo for my business. I don't even have a business logo, or what is marketing. And so for me, I think the one thing that I really geared towards was the accounting, because for my full-time job, I actually was really big in marketing, being a distribution manager, giving those surveys. And so I kind of I already had my experience in that, and so the accounting was something that just really stood out to me. And meeting women who have been doing accounting for like 25 years, and so being able to have them as a resource to teach me what I need to know to start off my business better with accounting. And so Yeah.
Oh, yes, that is great. And why would you recommend applying to Project Dreamcatcher?
Why I would recommend it? Oh my gosh, you get to build long-standing relationships with other like-minded women who will push you forward sometimes. I feel like some of the women there really propelled me to want to pursue my business, and just being able to be a part of that network was one thing that I am greatly honored to be a part of. So you definitely build a good sisterhood there of women who won't judge you, who don't see you as a competitor. They see you as someone they can support, if not help move in the right direction or provide those resources. So, yeah.
No, that definitely is true. It is a great support system. And as both Gracie and you mentioned, it is an amazing sisterhood that you kind of build great relationship towards the end of the program. So thank you for sharing that, Shalita. And going over to Brenda. Brenda, can you briefly introduce yourself and tell us about your experience with Project Dreamcatcher?
So my name is Brenda Charlie. My business is Heritage Health and Human Performance. It's a fitness education and physical education service type company. And I went there because I am just starting my business. I just got my LLC back in January. And I've been trying to get this business up and running for at least a couple of years now, since I started thinking about it. From thinking about it to actually creating the business license took some time. I think it was more so a confidence thing. But I'm Navajo. I live in Flagstaff. But my family is kind of spread out all throughout Navajo Nation, and I really wanted to start trying to give something back. Because I live in northern Arizona, which is a rural area, I really wanted to focus on trying to create more opportunities and resources for the people up north. So that's kind of how I came upon trying to get into Project Dreamcatcher. People started hearing about what I was trying to do, and all of a sudden, I got a message on Facebook like, "Hey, you should try this. You maybe you could benefit from it." And so I applied, I interviewed, and I was able to get in. And my experience from application to the graduation has been very educational for me. The program is very professional. When you do your interview, you're interviewed by 2 or 3 people who know about business or who have started a business, and they really want to go after it. And I try to exemplify that in my interview. And thankfully, they did choose me. And when we arrived on Sunday, when I got the agenda for Project Dreamcatcher, I was a little bit scared because it was like 8 in the morning till like 8 in the evening. And I was like, I'm going to be busy like every single hour. And that's kind of what it was. We were busy every single hour, but it was really great because we were all going through it together. We were all stressed together, and I think everybody was, it was so much information in 1 week, and I know you only get 1 week, and they really did try to make the most of it. But overall, I felt like I was really well taken care of, from like the hotel room to the food, to having really good conversations with the professors and the ladies in the group.
No, you are definitely right. And I love how personable it got on how you were able to get the one-on-one conversations with the different professors that came in to teach those classes too. So I thought that was really awesome. And it's so great that you mentioned that as well. And Brenda, what do you think was more helpful for you?
I felt like maybe I think it was the second or third day where we went over the finances. I had so many questions, And, the professors were really, really patient with us because we asked so many questions. And I think the comment at the end was, you ladies asked a lot of questions. But, I mean, we really, you could tell we were all there to get, stuff done. So I feel like the second day where we were learning about all of the financials was really, really important for us. And then, getting access to the professors and then using each other as a resource. Like, I know that it felt like the dinners were mandatory, but every single time I went to a dinner, I learned something new. And it was either about culture, about somebody else's culture, about somebody else's where they live, or, it was just getting to know how they run their business. And I tried to soak in as much as I could.
Oh, that was a great aspect as well. And kind of going back to having access to the professors, as you mentioned. And I just wanted to point out that having access to those professors doesn't end after graduation, because they make themselves available even afterwards. They gave us all their contact information. So if you ever have any business questions or any questions about the topic they taught, you can definitely, they leave the door open for you to reach out to them and ask those additional questions that you need. So I love that area of that portion of the program. And Brenda, why would you recommend applying to Project Dreamcatcher?
If you're looking for confidence, if you're looking for someone to be like your cheerleader, this is the place to go, because I did not feel that way when I walked in. I felt really intimidated. I felt really what's going to happen? You put 30 women in a room, what's going to happen? And none of the things that I thought was going to happen happened. All of the good things happened. And that was one, every time I talked about my business, somebody was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And they would ask me questions, and then I would do the same thing for them. And by the end of the week, I was like, I can do this. I am going to do this. They took out any type of, they just reassured you about what it is, what path that you are choosing. So if anybody wants to have that kind of support system once they go, and then after they leave, then this is the program. This is the type of program you need. I really felt like that was one of the key things. And at the end, they let us do this little circle where we got to talk about what we learned and what we're going to take away from it. And I really enjoyed that part. I just felt like the connections were there, true, genuine connections.
No, that is very true. It's very an empowering program. You are right. And kind of going back to Dinora to talk about Project Dreamcatcher. Dinora, can you tell us if there's anybody who has a business or even has an idea for a business, how can women apply for this program?
It's really easy to apply. You can go online and you can sign in to thunderbird.asu.edu. And you look up for Project Dreamcatcher, and you can log into the application. It's online, and basically the requirements for applying to the program, you need to have your own business or just a business idea, and you need to commit for a full week if you get selected, and you need to have the certificate of Indian blood from your tribe. We are they're mostly from Arizona tribes, but you need to go through the application, and if you get selected, it's very competitive, and we're going to ask you to do an interview with a panel of judges, and then if you pass that, you get selected, and you spend the whole week at Thunderbird School of Global Management.
And when is the deadline to apply?
The deadline to apply is July 6th. The cohort is for August, but we really take the time to do the interview process. So as soon as we close the application, we're going to start doing a full week of interviews with the people that are selected. And another way to apply is you can go to the social media from Project Dreamcatcher. You can find us in LinkedIn, you can find us in Instagram, and also you can find us in Facebook.
And I know you mentioned that it gets very competitive at times. How many women do you accept each cohort?
Unfortunately, we only accept around 30 women per cohort, and this one is the last one that we do in 2024. So I highly encourage to apply because, like, usually we get around 200 applications every time. When I say it's very competitive, that doesn't mean that we take everything into account. We take into account that if you live on the reservation, that is actually extra points. We have a point-based system. If you have a business, that gives you points, but if your business idea is very clear and you know exactly what you want to do, we also give you points for that. We try to be as fair as possible, but one of those things that we want to encourage is talk to people that have been to the program. If you know anybody, connect with them. We've done 10 cohorts already. The program started in 2015, and there is a huge community, and you can ask us. We answer questions if you want to know what is it that is gonna happen during the week. What are the things that you need to bring if you get selected? It's such a week that is so important for you. We put all the efforts in every single participant. It's very personal, and all the professors, all the people, the mentors, and the places that we visit, everybody's committed to make you successful.
Oh, yes, definitely. And Dinora, can you let us know how can our listeners find more information about Project Dreamcatcher, and how can they contact you if they have further questions?
You can go to the website in Thunderbird, like I said, thunderbird.asu.edu. It is under lifelong learning. In Dreamcatcher Program, there's a landing page right there. You can read about it. There's like videos from past participants. Also, you can see all the things that happened during the week. And if you go to social media, Facebook is one of the places where we have, like the pictures from past cohorts. We also do a lot of promotion of the ladies that they already been through the program, which showcase whenever they are having something with their businesses, or if they're having a win, we want to promote you. That's another commitment that we have to promote your business. If you are doing something, we want to make sure that people know about whatever services or products that you're selling. So you can go on Facebook on the Project Dreamcatcher, and you can follow us, and you can see more about the program. If you have specific questions, you can email me directly. My email is Dinora, Dinora .Gonzalez, Gonzalez @thunderbird.asu.edu.
Perfect. Well, I'd like to thank you, Dinora, and ladies, Gracie, Shalita, and Brenda, for taking the time out to talk to us today, to tell us about this amazing program, Project Dreamcatcher, and encouraging others to apply for the upcoming cohort.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Next on Native Talk Arizona, I'll chat with non-binary recording artist, performer, and songwriter Iiwaa. Support for KRDP 90.7 FM comes in part from Native Health, with 2 locations in Phoenix, 4041 North Central Avenue, Building C, near the corner of Central Avenue and Indian School Road, and at 2423 West Dunlap Avenue. Native Health is also located in Mesa at 777 West Southern Avenue, near the corner of Southern Avenue and Extension Road. Native Health Patient Enrollment Specialist can help you enroll, renew, or update your access information. This can be done in person, on the phone, or Zoom days, nights, or weekends. It's fast, easy, and can make a difference in keeping your healthcare coverage. For more information, call 602-285-9492. Welcome back to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm host Lanasha Puwadi. Iiwaa is a non-binary recording artist, performer, songwriter, and music educator. They are the recipient of the 2022 Viola Award for Excellence in Music for their debut EP title, Dysphoria. Iiwaa's work has been featured on ESPN, ABC, and the CBC, and has been recognized by the Grammys Recording Academy. Hello, Iiwaa, and welcome to our show.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. And before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, and your background?
Iiwaa has been going on 4 years now. This is my 4th year. I've been in pursuit as Iiwaa of promoting healing and creating space for joy within indigenous communities, but also just other communities on the margin, including the LGBTQI plus community. And my background is really extensive in music. I've been performing and singing since I was very young, probably 5 years old. So I have a lot of experience just in seeing exactly what I'm hoping to do with music in the world, and just seeing people's lives change, seeing joy facilitated, seeing people come together in community through music. And that has always been my primary function, regardless of whatever I'm doing. My background includes performing gospel music, and it also includes musical theater. It includes all types of different performances. So it's always been about bringing people together.
And how did you first get interested in music or performing arts?
I really think it was the love that my parents have for music. Neither of them are musical people necessarily. They don't proclaim to be singers or play instruments, but they are just lovers of music and lovers of diverse genres of music. And I picked that up from an early age in the home. But honestly, I had my first sort of taste of performance and being in full when I was around 5 years old, and I've always had an affinity for it. I've always loved it. I think my first dream in life was to perform around the world. This may show my age a little bit, but I had a really vivid fantasy of touring the world with NSYNC, kind of comically. So I spent a lot of time in those early years practicing singing, learning harmonies, paying attention to lyrics, learning dance moves. I think that it has just always made so much sense to me. It has always been something I'm passionate about, and I've really never experienced even like stage fright that can be an inhibitor for a lot of people from being on stage.
Oh, wow. That is so amazing how you had that passion at a young age, and I'm excited to kind of hear more about it. But can you tell us about your songwriting, recording, and performances?
They all kind of make up, I guess there are these 3 primary components of what Iiwaa is about. I've been songwriting since I was very young also. I started writing songs when I was maybe 8 or 9 years old. I would say one of my first experiences of sharing songs with other people was actually involuntarily. It was not a wonderful experience by any means. I remember kids on the playground found my songwriting book, and they were actually very cruel about the ideas and things that I was constructing at that time. So I would say songwriting I've been dedicated to for a long time, even through criticism, even through a misunderstanding on behalf of my peers, people who, even at that age, like, I was so dedicated to a craft and wanting to get better, wanting to write different genres of music. And I've just always had that drive. So I guess when you're young, it's not common, I guess, for everyone. So I definitely faced some obstacles and people who were speaking negativity into my life, but the journey then of songwriting is I've been writing professionally for others in addition to my own music. I've been writing professionally since 2017 was when I got my first internship songwriting for an organization that its intention was to uplift marginal communities. Particularly, I was working within a historically black neighborhood to uplift the community there through song. And that was the beginning of my songwriting career and just learning what it means to take songwriting on as a process and as a job. And then most recently, my songwriting credits have centered around sports culture, which I'm so thankful for. But the songwriting has ventured over into the world of commercial television. So I was part of a project last year that created 10 songs for ESPN to use during their summer broadcasting of 2023. So this included the NBA playoffs and the finals, as well as the WNBA draft. I mean, in addition to other leagues and other partnerships through ESPN, I would say that that's been the arc of my songwriting career, is going from being a thing that others didn't understand and something I was really dedicated to from an early age to now seeing the fruits of the labor and being dedicated to that process for such a long time. I'm now seeing my dreams actualized through songwriting. And then I think just to keep it brief about recordings and performances, I consider myself a recording artist because I'm so dedicated to what studio work can be. I think studio work allows you to really communicate ideas because there are so many tools available to you within recording technology. So I try to utilize all of those, especially on my album Scared of the Dark. Recording technology really helped me communicate that story, and we'll talk a little bit about that later too, I think. Yeah, it's about communicating an idea and using all the tools available to you in order to bring people into an experience. I really try to write songs for the recording experience that are larger than life, that exist in spaces beyond just themselves, if you will. And then performances is about bringing that music home to people, bringing it to people directly, being able to communicate those ideas that are packed in those songs and into the through line of an album. I love connecting and interfacing with people. I love to be engaging on stage. I love to bring energy. And I write music for the live performance setting. I really am dedicated to writing songs that are big enough to fill arenas and have memorable parts that people can sing along to. That's really such a huge part of what Iiwaa is. It's a larger than life thing that I tap into. I think going as Iiwaa and having that be distant from myself as a person allows me to kind of enter into that and make it something that I can also distance myself from when necessary.
Thank you for sharing your story of how you've overcome all those challenges and still continued on your journey of becoming a successful musician, songwriter, performer, as well as you mentioned. So it's so amazing to hear that aspect of your life. But Iiwaa, kind of talking further into your songwriting, how do you incorporate your Indigenous background into your music recordings and performances?
To me, it's about communicating Indigenous values and knowledge systems within music. I think some might choose to tell their story as an Indigenous person. Some may choose to use themes that we kind of broadly understand within our distinct Indigenous cultures. I really try to communicate our values, my tribe's values specifically, in everything that I do with Iiwaa. And to be more specific, one of those values is the way that I'm Peepash and Quitson, and the way that dreams govern our lives ancestrally. It's been a teaching that's been passed down to me that what our people saw in dreams is what guided their waking lives, their everyday lives. And so it should come as no surprise when I close my eyes, I see myself on big stages around the world and kind of communicating the beauty and the existence and the persistence of Peepash people. It's a smaller tribe. It's less than 1,000 people, but I feel really strongly that I'd like to represent them and have the world know who they are and advocate for their needs and have people involved in that story, and then be able to give back to the community with my success, being able to build and partner with people who are already doing incredible work within our communities to uplift people. I just want to have the resources to be able to give effective partnership. I know that I can give my time, and I do, and I know that I can continue to honor and embrace my culture and traditions, and I do, but there's so much in the way of infrastructure I'd love to help us build also. So that's definitely packed into what I do as an artist. And then something I always say is that we kind of across the globe understand Indigenous people have been the victim of, I mean, just terrible atrocity and very difficult hardships imposed on us by others, and that can often be the narrative that gets portrayed in media, that gets communicated, and ultimately that people outside of our culture really want to hear from us. But I think what's important to communicate is how many more years Indigenous people spent flourishing, pursuing the arts, learning to understand our natural world as scientists, as mathematicians, as historians. We have so much more time spent in abundance and flourishing and building civilization and society and governing ourselves and just deep knowledge and joy. And so within the music, I really try to impart the whole of my experience as just one singular Indigenous person and not speak for other tribes or even other people within my own tribe. I'm just one person with one experience, but informed so much by this reality that Indigenous people have deep understandings of abundance beyond just the difficulties of our stories.
And kind of looking into some of your work, can you tell us about Scared of the Dark?
Scared of the Dark it felt like a necessary story to tell. So, I mean, actually, if I may, here's some exclusive information for the radio show to share, but I'm releasing the deluxe version of Scared of the Dark, which is its complete story. So the narrative I dreamed to tell with Scared of the Dark in its entirety, that's releasing on June 14th, in just a couple of weeks. But Scared of the Dark is a story about a loss of intimacy between two people, and ultimately the catalyst for that is a pursuit of exactly what I'm talking about. Feeling like I have a mission in my life to share music with people, to give my all to music and take it as far as I can and be someone who represents and platforms my people around the world. And the course of the story within Scared of the Dark is about how continually choosing music over another person creates this distance between them. And it's the darker side of having success in music. It's the way that over time you choose music more often than you choose the people that are closest to you, and you feel distant from them. You feel removed from what's going on in their lives. So it is just a telling of, I mean, the first couple of years of Iiwaa and what my story was like, just feeling really isolated and lonely and even afraid of, I mean, we talked about the dark. I'm thinking about the shadow work that comes with being afraid of failure, being afraid of, not succeeding on your dreams, not meeting your goals. There's a dark side of, well, what if I don't make it and I have given so much of myself to this and not to people? Like, maybe I'll end up with nothing in the end. And there's a real legitimate fear, and that's that dark side of making this choice. There's no way to have success without sacrificing something, and sometimes it's hard to know that I've made the right choice. So Scared of the Dark is just an affirmation that I'm pursuing music wholeheartedly in this time in my life, and maybe it's a way to help people understand the choice I'm making.
And kind of on that same topic of kind of what you want the audience to portray or receive from your music, what message do you hope to spread through your music?
Just honestly that there are no limitations on Indigenous people. They can do anything. They can pursue art that's traditional, and there's beauty in that, and they can create new tradition through innovation, and that's beautiful too. And ultimately that our ancestors support. And then to the community at large, to the world, to popular culture, I think just that Indigenous people can no longer be separated from mainstream culture. There's no such thing as like Indian or Native or Indigenous music and then popular music or regular music. It is time to have Indigenous people contribute to broader culture, not in a way that often we see this assimilation forced on us where we have to kind of participate as others do in order to fit in, but rather that the distinction of Indigenous art, literature, music, etc., is a way that people use to keep us on the outside. And so my message to the world at large is that there's no longer a way or any right to deny that Indigenous people are equals and can produce works in league with any of their peers, regardless of worldview or culture that they belong to, etc.
No, that is a great way to put that. Thank you for sharing that, Iiwaa. And kind of talking back about some of your successful milestones of your career so far, can you tell us more about your different awards and where you've been featured?
I am really, really grateful to be part of an art community here in Flagstaff that takes time every year to recognize artists. In the last 3 years, 2 of my albums have been nominated for an Excellence in Music Award at this award show hosted by Creative Flagstaff. And the first one was in 2022. I received the Excellence in Music Award for my album Dysphoria, which was just really amazing and an honor. And, you know, we don't do this for accolades, but to me, when I am dedicating so much time and strive to have my own measure of excellence in everything that I do, it's just kind of going to come into territory of that. And so it was really validating to have that work that I poured so much time and energy into be recognized. And then the time between 22 and 24 is when I spent hours just writing the narrative of Scared of the Dark. And then this year in March, it was nominated and awarded that same award, Excellence in Music, for Scared of the Dark, in addition to some of my other songwriting, some of my other feats in songwriting also. So I'm really fortunate to be a 2-time award winner in this same category. 2 and 3 years is amazing. It feels great to take a journey and take a leap and write some different music and new music between the 2 albums and experience so much personal growth, and for those 2 things to still be recognized just kind of communicates to me that I'm maintaining my high bar of excellence in whatever genre or whatever musical expression I'm choosing to undertake. And then to talk about the collaborations and the features, I have to thank my really good friend and collaborator. His name is Jabez Ladress. He is a Filipino indigenous man who is a music director for an amazing band in Albuquerque. They're called the Mango Cakes, just to kind of say their name on air if people want to check them out. But Jabez and I have been friends for over a decade, and he's known for such a long time what a collaboration with ESPN would mean to me. And when it came time, he was contacted to record 10 songs for ESPN and really wanted me to come on board with that creative team and be a lyricist. So I wrote lyrics for 10 songs, and then we licensed those to ESPN. And I guess without really knowing what the end result would be, we were asked to write things for NBA broadcasts. We were asked to write a song for the WNBA draft. We didn't know entirely at that time what it would look like, and I don't think any of us could have predicted what has happened since then. We wrote the songs for the spring of 2023. As of a week, 2 weeks ago, the songs are still being used by ESPN, and we're very grateful. It is really a dream come true to see my music, something I collaborated on, used during the NBA Finals, something that I've grown up and given so much of my time and energy to, all the way to now hearing the music running during Caitlin Clark's highlights and just all that she's doing to promote women's sports and the necessity of honoring women athletes and their contributions. And we're just so thankful to be part of that. And I feel really blessed to be part of the tapestry behind what's going on with ESPN. I mean, it's a dream organization. I grew up watching ESPN every single day, waking up every morning with it on the TV. You know, as a younger guy growing up, dreaming of going to the NBA, it's amazing how that dream has transformed and hasn't been what I thought it would be when I was younger. But I still made it in some small part to the NBA Finals, which is, I mean, a huge dream for, I think, anybody, any person that has those aspirations of being an athlete when they grow up. So it's just been a real honor. And I think as I move forward, I really want to continue to promote Iiwaa being part of sports culture, my music being in alignment with sports culture. You know, I dream of collaborating with all of our Arizona sports teams, professional or otherwise, Phoenix Rising and the Cardinals and the Diamondbacks, and I want to perform for them, and I want to have the music at the games, and that's really just a dream that I'm going to be dead set on, and continuing to work to create things that work and fit into those spaces. And I think just to wrap it up with the Grammys, I mean, for any musician, that's sort of the pinnacle and the benchmark. And I felt really blessed to not just have the Grammys write about me, but to interview me, to ask for my words, for me to contribute to their online publication, and to see myself named and to hear my community named by the Grammys in their online publication is just surreal to me. And it was in collaboration with other artists who were writing uplifting songs for queer youth. So really just an honor to contribute my song and my story to this collaborative work, for the Grammys to recognize that and want to feature my work and want to ask me about why I do what I do. I mean, that's all I could ever hope for, and all that I hope to keep doing with Iiwaa is just telling my story, talking about how ancestral wisdom guides me and how I continue to have a strong measure of excellence moving forward that will propel me into any and all futures that I can see for myself.
Oh, that is great. Thank you for sharing that, Iiwaa. It's so amazing to hear how successful you've been so far, and I bet it is a rewarding feeling. And kind of jumping on to another area of your life, through educating students about music, do you find this a good way to reach the youth today?
Absolutely. Because I think whether it's a passion of students or just a passive hobby, I think music is a language we all speak. It really resonates with people in different ways. And whether it's teaching students to play instruments, or if I'm just using music to break down barriers between myself and students, it's really important. And I'm always looking for ways to connect with students, and I'm always hoping the best for them and for their journeys. And so to me, music is a way that helps me communicate. And I would assume for many people, they feel the same way. So it just really feels like the next beautiful pursuit in my life, to be a music educator, somebody who is imparting the knowledge that I've gained. And I mean, so much of it has been accumulated through uphill battles and through adversity, and honestly, like trial and error, like just messing things up and then getting it right later. I'm hoping to instill in people just the knowledge, in students specifically, I should say. I'm hoping to instill in them the knowledge of how to do things correctly, how to approach, how to have success in their music career. And when I think about legacy, I could build up a huge empire or dynasty, if you will, for Iiwaa, and I could totally see that happening for me. But I think what I leave behind is what I've been able to give to others, and that feels so much more in line with who I am as a person, as an Indigenous person, and our values. And so there's room for both, and I'm really excited about the opportunity to continue educating students through music in ways that don't actually really exist in a lot of other school systems. I'm very privileged to be teaching recording arts, DJing, studio arts, songwriting, analysis, music theory. I'm teaching all of those things next year at my institution, and I couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity to just share what I know with the youth.
Iiwaa, how can our listeners find more information about your work, upcoming events, and who can they contact for further questions?
My website is affiliated with my creative team. The website is sorrowcircle.com, all one word, sorrowcircle.com. They can follow along with me personally on social media. My handle for everything is king_Iiwaa, which is spelled Iiwaa. And they can also reach out to me personally for booking at my email address, which is Iiwaa, iiwaa.sc@gmail.com. And I'm taking bookings for summer through the end of the year right now. So I'd love to be in contact, and I'd love to collaborate.
Would like to thank you, Iiwaa, for taking time out to talk to us today to tell us about your journey so far and also sharing all of the amazing milestones that you've reached so far in your career.
I'm really appreciative and just very thankful that your show exists. Thank you so much for an opportunity to talk, and it was great talking with you today.
Thank you for listening to Native Talk Arizona, supported by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. Audio editing by Javier Quiroga, and the executive producer is Susan Levy. And I'm host Lanasha Puwadi. We hope you tune in again next week. If you have any questions, please email us at nativetalkaz@radiophoenix.org.